discussion, and I'd like to welcome Susan Dreyfus to the stage for some final remarks.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm not sure why Father Larry gave me this incredible honor to make these closing remarks, and I will be very, very brief because we've had a long day together. Father Larry, thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you for challenging us all to think anew. And to our gentleman from St. Cloud, I say amen. But Father Larry, thank you very much on behalf of all of us and everyone that's on the webcast with us today. I also want to recognize Sister Linda Jankowski, who is here. She is the chair of Catholic Charities. She's been the chair of every one of my boards. She kind of gets around, but she's an amazing change agent out there in our sector, Sister Linda, and my daughter Claire, who is my inspiration, who lives here in D.C. And the reason I'm going to talk about Claire just for a second is my husband and I were visiting Claire in Africa when she was in the Peace Corps in Lesotho. And I thought at that moment I had seen poverty as I had never seen it before. And my career has taken me into county government, to state governments, working in all these areas that we're talking about here today. And I thought I'd never seen poverty as bad as I had seen it in Lesotho until I went to Washington State and I was on the Colville Tribal Reservation, and I saw it even worse. But when I was in Africa with Claire, I was reading the book Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns Goodwin. I love reading the books on our presidents, and not because I'm interested in the history, although I am, it's the study of leadership that fascinates me. And if you look at Abraham Lincoln's writings in the 1860s, and I'm going to paraphrase because this is not a direct quote, but when you paraphrase all of his writings around poverty, now, the president would always say the poor. He used the term the poor a lot. And I guess I ask all of you today, let's stop that. Aren't they our neighbors? Are they really our clients, our consumers, our constituents? Aren't they our neighbors? And I think if we can change that language, we will change how we see people and how people see themselves. But basically, Abraham Lincoln, I'm paraphrasing what he said the poor, and I'd say all people, all neighbors, have to experience success. I said experience success. And experience sometimes is how you define success, not how I might define success. Have to experience success to believe there is a future they can influence. And then if you listen to Cass Sussman, the Harvard behavioral economist, he will tell you people have to see their future self. Folks, the sustainability of what we're about is the war on poverty, from my perspective, was yesterday. I believe that what we are now about is the prosperous America. What we are now about is the human capital development of this country, and we need all hands on deck. Every day there are 11,000 children born in America. Every day there are 10,000 of us baby boomers who are turning 65. And by 2050, we will have 21% people in this country over the age of 65, and only 18% will be children under the age of 15. America can afford to lose no one. I believe what we are about is lifting all people to be part of this great country and to enjoy prosperity as they define it for themselves and for their families. But it's going to challenge us. And in fact, I love the quote, we've got to step out of our predictable patterns. I'm going to ask you all to join together, that we all join together and we do a couple of things. First of all, are we ready to move from issue-based advocacy to values-based advocacy? Are we ready to mobilize millions of voices? We may not have billions of dollars, but we've got millions of voices. And I think, someone from the public sector, I always used to say to my nonprofit colleagues, I've got wonderful colleagues from Catholic Charities out in Washington State that I just fell in love with my time out there. I always used to say to my nonprofit colleagues in my public sector work, you overestimate what it takes to affect public policy, and you underestimate your ability to influence it. And every time you do that, you're just stuck. We have an incredible mobilization opportunity, all of us together. But it's going to require me, when you have an opportunity to maybe move the needle on early childhood education, and maybe that's not in my priorities, I've got to be ready to step up and help you get that done. Because it's about our values now. So part of what I think we're all challenged here about is moving from program thinking to social change thinking. Are we ready inside DC and mobilizing the millions of voices that are around all of us as national organizations and community-based organizations around this country to understand that first and foremost, I say this all the time to remind myself and to remind our network, at the end of the day, we are advocates first and service providers second, whether that's for the individual child, the family, the neighborhood, the community, the state, or the nation overall. We are advocates first and service providers second. I'm afraid for so many in our sector, we've lost that. We've lost that clarity and understanding. And we've got to move from issues-based advocacy to values-based advocacy. And I'd say, Father Larry, if you have started anything here today, I hope you have started a movement that it is no longer about the war on poverty. It's about seeing the human potential in every human being by virtue of breathing a breath of air in the United States of America. And we cannot rest until all people are participating in the vibrancy of this country. I think it's what pulls Republicans and Democrats together. I think it's what takes us from the divisiveness of this issue to seeing all people through their true strengths and potentials, their potential, and again, recognizing that we really, at the end of the day, our country is on an unsustainable path if all hands aren't on deck in terms of education achievement, in terms of opportunities to be successful in employment, and the ability to raise strong and healthy families. So blessings to you all. We've got to get this done, but it's going to take all of us to step outside of our comfort zone. We're ready at the Alliance. We'll be ready to do it, and I'm sure everybody in this room will as well. Thank you.